All right, this feels very different, and I'm just trying to get a hold of the gear and the brakes. That's very important for now. So it's a combination between a shrill and a hum. What do you call that? A shrum? That's the sound of the engine. So this kind of revs up rather fast. You saw it go up to 6,000 just like that. So all the heat that I get from the engine, I can feel it right here. Hey guys, hope you're doing well. It's a Wednesday morning here in Bengaluru, and slight change in plans this morning. I've got my riding jacket there, I've got my helmet here. Well, it's got nothing to do with my existing motorcycles, but I'm driving to a location to pick up a different motorcycle, a motorcycle that I hope to ride over the next couple of weeks. You know that I was thinking in my mind about experimenting with a ADV motorcycle, with an adventure tourer. So that wish of mine seems to have been granted, courtesy my friend Sridhar. So Sridhar is traveling for the next couple of weeks or so. So he said, why don't you pick up my Tiger and ride it for a couple of weeks and see how you feel about it. And I said, why not? So I'm off to Sridhar's place to pick up the motorcycle. Also do a bit of a chat with Sridhar, find out more about the motorcycle and things that I need to know about it, because I've ridden his motorcycle once, but you know, when you're going to keep it for a couple of weeks and ride it, especially when I'm going to be riding it more than 2 or 3 times, I'm going to clock some kilometers on it. It's also nice to know a bit of the ins and outs of the motorcycles. I don't know if you recognize Sridhar without his riding gear, but of course you certainly recognize the Tiger. And that of course is Sridhar's better half, Shri Priya. We're all blessed with very supportive wives who let us indulge in these passions and these hobbies. So I think all the women behind us riders, I think they deserve a lot of the credit.
So you all have to take us for a ride again, you know, probably for a big, huge vacation.
For a big vacation, yeah. Yes. So you got to balance things out, and you got to keep the ladies happy.
So turn the key, hold the clutch, and then auto-off indicator. This is the headlight. So this indicator is that one in the white, the daylight. You move it down, then the headlight comes on, yellow. And if you want to go high beam, dipper, press it once, it stays high beam. When it is in the daylight, if you flip it, that it just the flashes. See, this is the cruise control. You press it once, now it has come on. Now when you are riding, say like you are at 70 or 80, you press it one more time, then it becomes green. So the second time when you press that speed, it becomes green. That means that speed is set. While it is cruising, the restore button, if you press, like that's a plus sign if you see. So every time you press it once, the speed goes up by 1 kilometer.
So I'm taking responsibility for Sridhar's baby. It's actually, I'm feeling a little nervous because I'm not used to doing this. But Sridhar was kind enough to say that, you know, you've been talking about getting an ADV. He said, try mine for about 2 or 3 weeks that I'm gone.
You will enjoy it, I'm sure, and all the best.
So how do you feel letting go of your baby?
It's in safe hands.
It's in safe hands.
Right? And then like probably that also will encourage you to join the ADV gang.
Oh, I'm not giving up the fat boy. So this, if at all we look in this direction, it will be a +1. So Sridhar, thank you very much here.
Welcome. Welcome.
Happy travels.
Thank you.
All right, this feels very different, and I'm just trying to get a hold of the gear and the brakes. That's very important for now. When you're riding something new, especially if it's not yours, be very, very careful. Be very gentle. Right now, I am still trying to figure out my foot controls, because unlike the Fat Boy that I'm so used to, the foot controls in this are quite stuck in, so you literally have to find it. And you know, our muscles form memories as we are riding. So my muscle memory is based on the Fat Boy, and the brakes here, the rear brakes and the gear shift lever is quite inside. So I'm just trying to do the best that I can. Alright, we're here on Mekri Circle Road. So we've got to figure out which way. We got to go to the right, and there's a fair bit of traffic there already. Okay. I'm on 6th gear now, and I feel that it can still go up one more gear. That's the feeling that I have, because the engine obviously revs a lot faster as opposed to my Fat Boy. So in my mind, the engine is training to get to another gear, but that's not the case. That's the way this engine hums, at a faster pace than the Fat Boy. What I like is the fact that it's so vivid, so visible. It's absolutely clear in terms of all the things that you want to see on the odometer, whether it's your RPM, your gear, your speed. I can feel a bit of heat though from the engine here. False neutral there. Fair bit of traffic. I think I'm going to go on the left. Yeah, the biggest difference is the height of this as opposed to, let's say, the Fat Boy. So I think that's taking some getting used to. Because on the Fat Boy, you stop and your feet are immediately there. But here, your feet have to travel just a bit more. Just a few moments more to reach the ground. Not even a few moments, but half a moment more. And that does take some getting used to, more in the mind, I think. Also, I'm wearing new shoes, and so the shoes are new, the motorcycle is new. So but I'm sure if I ride it a bit more, we'll be fine. I like the way this motorcycle pulls at 30 kilometers per hour, even on 4th gear. Just first impressions. The motorcycle is in a hurry to get you to the next higher gear. That's the feeling that I get. The most dangerous things to be behind in Bengaluru are these tractor trailers, because usually they're used to riding in the fields and the farms, right? So there's absolutely nothing to look at behind, what's coming left, right, etc. And sometimes some of those carry forward the same mindset even when they are on the city road. So be very careful when you're behind a tractor trailer. Extremely dangerous. Also, the turn indicators here, they there's no perceptible click as I turn, so it you don't know whether you put the indicator or not. Not a niggle, but just things that I need to get used to. Feather touch. That's what these turn indicators seem like. Very light. And I suspect that's a big part of this motorcycle as opposed to my fat boy. Fair bit of traffic, fair bit of traffic. Oh. Maybe I should pull these levers a little closer. The gear shifter feels quite notchy. I love the way the engine hums. It's not throaty, there's no... It's almost like a shrill, not even a hum. So it's a combination between a shrill and a hum. What do you call that? A shrum? That's the sound of the engine. Cubbon Park. Of course, tackling the speed breakers on this is like child's play. Thankfully some shade. So this vlog is just going to be, like they say in Chumma, just a little documentation of the fact that I have borrowed Sridhar's bike, motorcycle, the Triumph Tiger, and my very quick first ride impressions. Unfortunately through the city and at 1 PM in the afternoon, so not the best situation, not the best conditions for the ride, but nonetheless that's really what this is about. So I think over the next couple of days that I have this motorcycle, I'm going to try and do some rides, maybe at least a couple of rides on the motorcycle, do some long rides too if I can. When I say long, I'm talking about maybe a couple of 100 kilometers or so, and bring to you my ride impressions of the Tiger, and we'll vlog about it a bit here and there. I think where I'm enjoying this motorcycle is over the speed breakers, is over the bumps. There's absolutely, it's a breeze. I wonder which decade this car stepped out of. The Ambassador. That's a car I learnt driving in. So I'm at 35 kilometers and I'm in my fourth gear now. Of course, I've dropped it as I'm coming to the turn signal. So I'm quite impressed by the fact that I don't have to shift too low at city speeds, which is interesting because I thought, this is an engine that revs high. Quite impressed on that count. The brakes are very, very grippy. So that's something that I'm getting used to. On the Fat Boy, the brakes are soft, so it doesn't bite as hard as these brakes do. So I have to be very careful about that. The moment you press the front brake, it stops on a dime. This is a good problem to have. Just be careful. I think you have to condition your mind to say, hey, you know what, this is how this motorcycle is going to behave. So work with it. So my mind cannot be in a Fat Boy frame of mind whilst I'm on the Tiger. The motorcycle wants you to constantly shift gears up. That's what the motorcycle wants you to do. It's not happy being in low gears. So I'm on 4th and I'm like at 30, and it pulls quite easily. There's no knocking, nothing of that sort. Motorcycle like, take me higher. Take me higher, that's what the motorcycle seems to be telling me. That's the power. Quite a powerful thing. Very nippy out of the traffic light. Just that the sound is very different. I'm trying to get used to the sound. Trying to consciously downshift before I come to a stop. Found first, not neutral. We'll get there. Still trying to get used to the acceleration of the motorcycle, because it picks up, the engine revs rather rapidly. And I think the best way to control a motorcycle or get a sense of the motorcycle is by going slow, not by going fast. Because when you slow it, you need more control. So you figure things out a lot better, as opposed to, let's say, just going fast and you don't have time to do anything, time to react to anything that's happening on the road or with your motorcycle. I seem to be finding a lot of the false neutral between first and second. Because it's also the new shoes that I'm wearing this time. New shoes, new motorcycle, everything is new. So all the muscle memory that I have doesn't really apply to this motorcycle. Just trying to do what I can. Too much traffic. You saw that? It just bit the brakes. The problem is that the people behind you cannot stop as rapidly as you do. So that becomes a bit of a challenge. I find the clutch a little hard. But there's a setting there that I can change to bring it closer. So there we are already on 6th at 3000 RPM, 60 kilometers per hour. I guess if I'm doing 80-100, it'll probably be doing 6,500. I don't know. We have to find out. When we do find out, you will find out too. So this kind of revs up rather fast. You saw it go up to 6,000 just like that. So all the heat that I get from the engine, I can feel it right here. Those are the challenges when you're riding a superbike of any sort in the city, when you're crawling. So no matter whatever the cooling, the Fat Boy is air cooled, this I think is liquid cooled. These are engines that are designed to be not crawling, and that's why you feel the heat a lot more than people around you. And of course you're also wearing the gear, although I'm wearing my summer jacket. This is taking some getting used to. Home sweet home. So there we are. What I really like about this machine is this shades of black, whether it's the gloss on the fuel tank, and then this matte black plastic, and then of course you have this powder coated aluminum tubular frame that runs there, and then the engine. So everything is black and grey, which is nice, and it's got these accents of silver. It's a handsome machine to look at, very masculine in its overall appeal. And this part looks rather massive here. especially with this cladding on the tank with the name Tiger emblazoned on it. So it's a motorcycle that people do pay attention to, especially at the traffic light. The brakes, Brembos, bite really hard, rather scarily. So I think these are 17-inch front tires, if I'm not mistaken. There's a bash plate here, the engine guard. So I think that's it for this vlog. Looking forward to riding this beast over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll have a couple of vlogs that will emerge out of it. I know for sure I'm going to enjoy the motorcycle, and I hope you enjoy the vlogs that come out of it too. So if you're new to the channel, do consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.